So good morning to everyone. Welcome to Activities for People Living with Dementia. This dementia-friendly Fort Worth program is being recorded for future viewing on our YouTube and other media channels. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please be sure to like the video on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay current on our future segments. We are so happy that you all are with us. And this program today is being made possible in part through the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. We are fortunate to be in partnership with so many multiple generous organizations. I am Tia, your host for today's program, and I would like to introduce you to Emily Corbin, and she is going to lead us today in FitWits. So I will say, take it away, Emily.
Thank you, Tia. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Hello. Tip of the hat to you today.
Oh, all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. Let me share my screen with you and we will get started. Let us see. All of these screens we get to, oh, no, that's the wrong one. That's the one I share with you on Mondays. Okay. Oh my goodness. What day is it? What's happening?
Thursday, yes.
Thank you. Okay. Here I am on Thursday. There we go. All right. Gotta scroll down. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Let's be FitWits. So as you know, I like to stay in my creating mode in my slide presentation because we end up creating a lot of content together. And then when possible, I will email you some of that content. Let me scoot this over. I think right now my Zoom screen is covering up a little bit.
So that we could.
There we go. I don't know if your view changed, but mine did.
Okay.
So anyone want to take a gander at the theme today?
Like pumpkins.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving, yeah. Apples.
This is our last FitWits of November and the last one before Thanksgiving, of course, which is next Thursday. So I figured we would do we did a gratitude practice the last time we were together. I think that was November 3rd. And so today we're going to kind of do part B or part deux of our Thanksgiving and November sessions. So let's just check in, make sure we have our bearings about us. Is today Thursday? John, you already told me it's Thursday because I had to share the appropriate screen, right? You don't have to unmute to say yes, it's Thursday, or you could. Also, November 17th. Do we all agree it's November 17th? Okay. And if I went down to Sundance Square right now, which is what we're looking at here in this picture, is this a pretty appropriate view of what the weather's doing? I mean, it looks what, sunny in this picture? Yeah. And we can't tell if it's warm or cold. I think it's probably pretty cold if you're running through those fountains.
Yeah, that's why I think that's more of a summer picture than a fall picture.
Yeah, it might be.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they run the fountains during
I think they do. I think they do. Maybe not as often.
Maybe people just don't run through them as much.
Don't they have the tree
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, the tree's in the street though.
Oh, it's in the street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think these go year round depending on depending on some things, but the weather. I have a daughter of a picture. I have a picture of my daughter running through these fountains, and I just remember that on the day that picture was taken, it was actually really cold outside.
Really?
And she was still running through them. Now, it could have been March, could
Ooh.
have
Yeah.
been like, or September or something like that. But it was a chilly, chilly day. I remember that. So today it's going to be beautiful. We've got 35 as our low. We'll all be tucked in bed when that happens. And then today sunny and 60 if you're in the sunshine. Of course, if you're in the shade, you might need a little blanket or something like that. So Sundance Square, a fun place to people watch, right? So starting off with a little Thanksgiving themed visual. Just want anybody, and I'll remind you that we don't really have rules like raise your hand to speak. We just encourage you to, within reason, if you know an answer, feel free to call it out. And sometimes I'll, like if we're doing a quiz, I'll ask you to take turns. But right now, if there's anything you notice that doesn't go with our theme that's on this screen,
The Easter eggs don't belong.
Easter eggs, yes.
Easter eggs, yeah.
Nancy got
the
it.
Easter eggs don't belong. What else?
I
Cherries?
mean, I would say
Cherries? Oh, those are
pancakes.
cranberries, never mind.
I would say pancakes
The
because you
pancakes.
eat them in the morning, and the other stuff seems to be the Thanksgiving feast.
Well, I would
Okay.
say you could have pancakes any day of the year, but that's what I agree with you.
But
you're
normally
saying.
in the
Dawn, I had
morning,
a feeling that at least Dawn, that at least one person in our group would say that. So you win the pancakes award
I'm the
um,
pancake guy.
for saying that. Yeah. But Yata, you make a good point that the rest of these items, I think you get the idea that these are Thanksgiving themed items. And if that's the case, maybe pancakes are not the biggest priority on Thanksgiving.
What about that pineapple?
Anything else?
Pineapple.
Yes.
Pineapple?
Well, no, actually, pineapple goes with sweet potatoes, doesn't it?
Does it?
Does it?
Okay.
I put
So
pineapple
as
on
you
my
can
dinner.
see,
I used to have just a turkey head in filled, and when you put down a pineapple and put that head in, you have a turkey.
Oh,
That's
nice.
fun. That's funny. I love that.
That is really funny. So as you can see, this opens the door to a conversation about our different traditions because, well, Don may feel like he needs to have pancakes every Thanksgiving morning.
Oh, great. Something else I get to do now.
No,
Thanks.
I'm well
Thanks,
past the stage where I actually do
Emily.
that, so it's okay.
But Thanksgiving, it turns out, it involves pineapple for some folks. Anybody else have pineapple on their table for Thanksgiving?
With my ham.
With your
Yeah, there
ham?
you go.
Yes. Yes. Decorating the ham or just serving it with the ham. So yummy.
Oh, it's in
So-
some salads too.
Sometimes in salad. My
Yeah.
grandmother used to make pineapple. She used to put pineapple with her cottage cheese and iceberg lettuce salad. Did anybody ever have that?
Yes.
Oh,
Weird sounding to me, but I ate it and I liked it too.
so I'm telling me go on and explain about sweet potatoes. Lucy is a sweet potato casserole. Had pineapples, nuts,
Okay.
pecans. Pecans in it, and what
And
Mar-
butter.
butter and marshmallows on top of it too.
Only if I remembered.
Marshmallows on top of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will sometimes make when I make my homemade, if I get a chance to make my homemade cranberry sauce, I put chopped up pineapple in that.
Oh, do you? Okay, that's good.
It's a way to sweeten it. I usually put applesauce and pineapple in there, crushed pineapple. So I don't know. I mean, I knew pineapple would be sort of on the cusp or on the fringes, and it would at least give us a little window to talk about that. But it seems like from the very beginning, the very first thing that popped out at everyone was Easter eggs, because it's very clearly a different holiday theme. And then it was pancakes, and then it was pineapple, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's fascinating to see how all of our different brains, because we all have different associations in life, right? We all have had different lived experiences, and our different lived experiences give way to those different associations that we may have with with everything really, but in particular with holidays that have a lot of tradition around them. So let's move on. But the corn, we feel like corn goes
Yeah,
there.
corn, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The
And
Indians
pumpkin
call it
and
maize,
turkey.
right?
Cornbread. Mhm.
Yeah, cornbread.
Cornbread. Oh, cornbread stuffing.
Mhm.
Ooh, y'all, I'm gonna be hungry by the time we're done. I can tell. Okay.
I have a question.
So that opens
I have a
that
question.
opens the door.
Emily, is the
Yes.
question that I have for all the participants, is it cornbread with sugar or cornbread without sugar?
Oh, I don't know. What do you do for a
Tough
cornbread?
call.
I use sweet cornbread
Oh,
mix.
cornbread dressing, okay.
What do
For
you, what do you
dressing,
do,
I
Pat?
I
like
use-
sweet cornbread dressings.
Yeah,
And if it's regular cornbread that I use to make my dressing, I will add cranberry sauce or just a little bit of cranberry and apple cider juice
Oh,
to sweeten it. Usually sweeten it with apple cider juice, but basically it's like apple juice with
yeah,
spices.
apple juice, yeah, right.
Yeah.
The sweet cornbread, though, they use the Jiffy cornbread mix. It's already sweet.
It's already sweet. It just depends. If I make a cornbread that's not already sweet, because I like savory cornbread on the side, and then I like sweet cornbread for my dressing. Does anybody else put sausage in their dressing?
My mother did.
No.
I'm the only weirdo here who does
Yeah,
that.
it's not weird. My mother used to love having oyster dressing in the
Yes,
turkey.
oysters. And what about chestnuts?
my mom too.
I've never had chestnuts, no.
Never had
Chestnut we will
chestnuts.
put in our goose for Christmas.
Okay. I know someone who does chestnuts and oysters. And that feels like a little much for me. I like
Yeah.
my sausage. I don't know.
When I
Okay.
was living in Puerto Rico, some of the people actually put the stuffing with ground beef into the body cavity of the turkey, and that was
Really?
very strange.
Interesting. Yeah, I think now that we know a little more about, food prep safety, we know we're supposed to cook the dressing and the bird separately, and then put the dressing in the bird if that's really how you want to present it. But Don is shaking his head. Absolutely not. What are you saying no to, Don?
That I don't think we cook the dressing inside the turkey.
You don't cook it inside the turkey. Yeah.
We do. Yes, we do. Yes, we
Oh,
do.
you
put it in.
do? Okay, and you're fine. You're just
Yeah, we
fine,
make sure
right?
it gets hot enough so it's not dangerous.
Yeah. Well, and really undercooked turkey and dressing doesn't appeal to me, but I guess it's been a challenge for some folks.
Could be, yeah.
Because we're talking about it, aren't we? Okay, so let's talk turkey. What I have planned for us now is that we're actually going to work on our executive function skills by planning a Thanksgiving meal together. So if we're going to pretend that we're all coming together next Thursday, and I'm curious, is there a meeting next Thursday? Are we all? I mean, I know we meet every day, but I don't happen to be
Yes.
on the
Martha-
calendar.
Martha conducts our meetings when most of us are off work. Martha keeps the meetings going on Christmas and Thanksgiving because we want to
Yes.
have that continuity always for people who are in the
Perfect.
routine of meetings. So anybody
Yep.
who's free on
Yep.
Thanksgiving is welcome to join in, and we will have a program.
So I'm curious to know how many of you will be there that day, will be here with us. 'Cause,
Maybe.
you know, maybe.
Mhm.
And we'll play
Okay.
bingo.
Ooh, Thanksgiving bingo. You can definitely put in a special request, right?
Or Jeopardy, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. A Thanksgiving version of you have to say gobble instead of bingo. Or you just, you have to make gobbling sounds, which would be I would like to see that actually. So yeah, let's plan our gathering. Let's plan our Thanksgiving gathering. And
Forgive me if I don't say I will be there or whatever, because
Fine.
I am a God's willing type of person.
That's
um,
right.
In other
yes,
words,
ma'am,
God's
and
willing to be there. I don't commit to nothing.
you are
No.
welcome to preface it with God willing, I will be there. And that is enough for us. Yeah, no worries. So let's plan our gathering. And so I want us to do this like from the very moment you decide that you're going to have company. Let's pretend like we're all going to have company at our collective home, right? What's the first thing we have to do just in order to get the company to come over?
Invite.
Right? We have to invite them.
Right.
We do have to invite them. So, oh, come on. I'm going to try and make us a bulleted list here. Let's see. Hang on. Let's do, there we go. Nope, you're too big, text box. Let's see if I can get this set so I won't have to do this each time. All right. So, invitation. And who are we going to invite?
I think I made a mistake. I said
You
invitation. The first thing to know is we have to see whether or not we're going to be able to, how much are we going to need, or whether we're going to be able to invite somebody. We have to prepare
You
ourselves
mean,
too. We have to prepare
okay,
ourselves.
what do we do to prepare ourselves, Selma? That's a really good point. What do we do to prepare ourselves?
Number one, you plan your budget as to how much you're going to spend.
That's right.
Okay,
And
that
how
is
many,
very, very good
Excellent.
point.
how
We
many
cannot
people
take the
you
budget
think-
for granted.
How many people
We must
you think
plan
you
it.
feed? How much time it's going to take you to prepare? It's a whole, and then after you get all that together, then you can figure out not only with your food, but how many people you're going to be able to successfully feed without them getting hungry and having to take some. Most people want to take some home, but anyway.
Sure. So I have one of the things we might want to consider is, if our budget is limited, well, there's the financial budget, but there's also our energetic budget, right?
Right.
There's
point.
how much are we able to do and manage in a way that we get to have a joyful experience
Right.
and not be running around like turkeys with our heads cut off, right? So we need to budget time, money, and energy. Money.
Resources as far as what things that you have on hand.
So
to do
resources in general, right?
Yeah.
And if you need to recruit help and assign people to bring certain dishes.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You can you can
Right.
help with the budget and the energy by having other people bring stuff.
You delegate,
Right.
so who brings
Yeah,
what?
delegate. That's the right word.
To delegate. So that brings in my next question. Maybe, especially since we're doing this as a community, maybe what we want to do is invite people to to share in the collective responsibility of creating this experience.
Mhm.
Maybe we all decide to have a potluck, or
Good.
you know, what do you
Mhm.
think?
That's
I
a
think
good
potluck.
idea
I think it's a
because
good idea. I think the
Okay.
first thing comes to mind when I said somebody's gonna bring, have some other people bring stuff. Somebody's always used to bring a green bean casserole to our
That's
Thanksgiving.
right. That's right. Okay, Dawn is skipping ahead to the menu planning.
Oh, sorry,
We're
sorry.
gonna get there. No,
Okay.
you're fine. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put the box over here for menu planning.
well, you know, it's a
Oh,
lot of
come
things- a lot of
on.
things that we prepare that other people don't eat. So the potluck thing is a good idea because then they can bring what they like.
Yes,
true.
exactly
Very
right.
good.
That's also a good point. Yeah.
Especially now, we have people that are gluten-free, and then other people are paleo, and
All the
these
food,
different
yeah, all the
dietary
requirements.
you should
I'm
not
gonna
be
change.
expected as a host to make all of that for everybody. So let them bring things too that they can eat.
Seriously.
Vegans.
Okay.
Vegans, yes.
Those vegans, I tell you what, I'm kidding. I'm
Are you a
friends
vegan,
with,
Emily?
no, my goodness, no,
He
not
has
even
sausage in-
close.
He has sausage in her dressing. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah,
Sausage in my
that's true. She
dressing.
has sausage in her dressing.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
she's
I
not.
missed that. Yeah, I forgot
Couldn't
about that.
be further from a vegan. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with my my fonts, but okay, so we've decided we're gonna make it a potluck.
Yep.
And we're gonna maybe include that on our invitation.
Mhm.
Right?
I
Yeah,
still think invitation should be the first thing so that you know how many people are coming.
Yes, have them RSVP you about what
Yeah.
dishes they're gonna bring.
so
Yeah.
it sounds like now that we know we're having a potluck, we can move the invitations to the first thing. So what did we do there in the beginning? It sounds like what we did was we talked about all of the different possibilities for how we might organize this thing.
Mhm.
If you were going into like a meeting with, let's say if you were going into a work meeting and everyone was supposed to sit around the table and talk about their ideas, there's a word for that. When we all sort of share our ideas and possibilities, there's a kind of an umbrella word for that. Does anybody
Brainstorm.
have?
Brainstorm.
Yeah. So the first thing
Myra
we
got
did was
that.
really brainstorm. Yeah, good job, Myra. Thank you. We brainstormed. Come on. So our brainstorm happened first, and then once we did our brainstorm, we realized that we want to do invitations.
That's the agenda.
We still have to do our budget, right? That's still, even if we're, oh,
Oh,
hey
upside
there.
down.
What in the what? We still have to talk about our resources, and but if we're sharing the load, then our resources will go further, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And okay, so then what happens when you decide to invite people to a potluck and everybody wants to bring the same thing, or you have 12 cranberry sauces and no turkey, right?
Yeah, that would be bad.
So someone said the word delegate, and that is like an essential part of being the host for something like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe you give them a list of things that need to be done. They pick one, and then that goes off your list for other people.
That's a nice
Yeah.
idea.
So create a list of, it's not just menu items, but it's also it's menu items, it's
Paper goods.
Paper,
it's
plates,
cutlery
and
and dinnerware, that kind of thing.
yeah, and drinks.
And ice.
And ice, yes.
Always ice. It's always the forgotten item, and someone has to run down to the convenience store that's the only one in town that's open, and it
Yeah.
takes an hour. Yep. Okay, so
I'm
definitely
seeing
the
two
ice.
different ways. Either you can send out a list and have first come, first serve for filling in the slots, or you can think, who makes a really good sweet potato casserole in your group? And ask them specifically to make their famous macaroni and cheese or whatever they make. So you can look at
And
it.
you can tell them they're the best, they make the best one of those ever. So that gives them some pride. They want to do it then.
Mhm.
So in that case, maybe you make a list and you fill it in with your own, like, ideally, I would want Myra to make the turkey this year, so
She makes a
maybe
really good turkey.
maybe I make a list of who makes the best of everything, and I reach out to that person and say, gosh, we sure love your XYZ.
Yeah.
Would you please make XYZ this year? And they have the opportunity to say yes or no. And then we know if we need to fill in that spot or not. You guys, we're getting into some really good detail here.
Yeah.
Really good detail. So,
I have
when I write my next book about how to plan a Thanksgiving, I'll try to give you all credit for it.
All right. Well, yes, we'd like to get our copies of autographed by you.
one of
Autographed copies. Okay, yeah. Let's just put it on my to-do list because
Okay.
it's not long
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
one of my former coworkers used to tell a story that her grandmother could not make good gravy. It was really, I think it was dressing. It was really disgusting. It was runny instead of firm. And every year that grandma would bring that same disgusting stuffing or dressing or whatever, and nobody liked it. And then the funny thing was, when she passed, then her daughter, who was living with her, didn't want to break the tradition, so she kept bringing it.
Isn't that funny?
No one liked it, but it was
Isn't that funny? And Tia, as you were explaining that, as you were describing it, I thought, I bet after a while, no one wanted to tell her not to make it or volunteer to make it, because it really did just become part of the tradition. Oh, it's grandma's horrible stuffing again,
That's right.
but there's something really comforting about that. So that's a cool thing to notice about our about our traditions and our family gatherings. Okay, so now we get to talk about the menu. Can we skip to the
Now,
menu?
we've skipped a very important part. We need to know what time the football game starts. Are we going to eat before the football game or after the football game?
Good
Okay.
point.
Good point.
No,
all right, that's fair.
Football game.
No football on Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
so we have,
No Thanksgiving then.
I think we have
boy,
a
there's some
difference of
tension in
opinion
the
on
family
this.
right now. Okay.
Oh, is this going to be sit down or buffet? If it's buffet, you can have football.
Hey,
That's a wonderful thought. Is it a
So-
sit down or a buffet? Wonderful thought.
I think that a
If you get a
potluck
buffet,
has
you can
to
have
be
football.
buffet, but maybe someone else has a different thought.
I think it should be a sit down.
I agree, Yetta. It's
Okay.
pass the potatoes. That's so beautiful. We don't do it but a few times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's like reading.
okay. Okay, so I guess what I'm thinking is that we're at a very large table where it might be difficult to pass everything. What if there's a buffet and then we go all sit down at a prepared table and we can pass things like the butter and pass
rolls.
like the dinner rolls,
We need
but we're
helpers
not,
to help you.
when you're handing over the potatoes and you have the hot pad and they don't, and they grab it and they drop the potatoes on the they drop the potatoes on the table. No one's ever been traumatized by this experience before? No?
No.
Hey, the old people need help too.
But
You gotta have these young teenagers.
that's a good solution.
So we have both. We have a
Buffet.
hybrid
Oh, yeah.
buffet.
We have a hybrid potluck.
Okay, we've got a hybrid buffet
Football.
sit down.
I have always,
Okay,
well,
I
excuse me.
think we also have to compromise on the football, right?
No.
I think
something.
if we, I
The
think if
game
we
doesn't
have
start until around
What
5 or
you-
6 o'clock in the evening in the first
and
place.
if the TV.
Compromise. Oh no. On football? No. Cut your tongue out.
Yes, I better.
So, so,
So,
so,
Is it all right if I say something now?
yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead,
Absolutely.
Delvin.
I've been trying for a while. I have found out on football season and Thanksgiving, people have a whole lot of fun because they all together. If they can just have Thanksgiving dinner and all watch the football game at one time together. And if
Yeah.
you got a TV, you can put in the room where where you're eating, and you'd be surprised how much fun people have because a
That's
lot
right.
of them don't have nobody to watch the football game with,
That's right.
and it's kind of
So-
like just a big gathering. They can enjoy the
yeah.
game. They can also enjoy they still watching the game because most men gonna want to watch the game. And
Yes.
some of them they'll make excuses to leave in order to watch.
They will.
But if you got the game right there, everybody can have a good time.
Yes. So has anybody
my
noticed
major-
that tension in the family where you're all sitting around the table and you can tell like 3 or 4 people just really want to get up from the table and go check the score?
Yes.
And, I guess if nobody minds that tension, then that's okay. We can force them to sit through that. But sometimes it can create a block in the conversation or I don't know. It depends on the family, I suppose. So it sounds like we need a compromise here too. Some kind of a hybrid with this also. And so maybe we can plan our Thanksgiving for a time when there's not a game that anyone's terribly connected to, but it's leading into, right? Like we know we're going to finish up right about the time the big game is starting. And maybe we can all sit around the TV and watch while we have our dessert. So is there an opportunity to get our food from a buffet, go sit down at our table without a TV, and then take our food over or take our desserts over to the TV when the big game starts and go from there? Does that really
That's a good idea.
sounds like I don't know. I can be wrong.
I think the game doesn't come on till around about 5 or 6 o'clock anyway. So by the time we started out about 2 o'clock or whatever, everybody had to be seated and sit down and say the prayer and go on and eat.
Uh-oh.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we've got well, this is all under the menu category. We don't need it there, but we've got a hybrid buffet sit down with football and dessert.
Sounds good to me.
All right, I'm going to cut this part into a different box. And then now we'll talk about the menu. Can we talk about the menu now? Can we do that?
Yeah, I just like to say one other thing about the football stuff.
Yeah.
The important thing to me is that when the food's done, I go eat it. I don't care what is happening. I just want to.
You want to eat your
the
food
meal.
hot?
Yes. Yes.
You want to eat your food hot. I
Yeah.
respect that. The cold, some things are okay cold, but cold
Yeah.
gravy and cold green bean casserole, those are not my favorite things. So let's talk about the food.
Okay.
And just by doing this exercise, we have ended up discussing a lot of our Thanksgiving traditions, which is our next slide. But let's talk about some of those menu items. Okay, what's the number 1 menu item? Number 1.
Turkey.
Turkey. Okay. What's next? Number 2.
Stuffing.
Ham.
Okay, I heard stuffing and ham.
Yep.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Greens,
Okay.
greens,
Greens.
Sweet potato casserole.
Sweet potato casserole, yes.
Or cornbread. Cornbread stuffing.
And yeast rolls.
Yeast rolls, yes.
Yep, I'm hungry now.
Yeah, me too. I have a feeling we're gonna run out of room for our menu items, just the way I like it.
don't get it.
That's right.
Okay. Oh no, we're not even close to done with it. Okay,
No,
so
no.
there was well, and does anybody like the sweet potato? That's what you meant when you were saying the sweet potato casserole, the one with the
Marshmallow.
with the marshmallows. I also like savory sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving with a little rosemary and garlic butter.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've got our stuffing, we've got greens, but we
The
also need green bean
cranberry.
casserole.
Cranberry
Yeah,
sauce.
definitely.
Cranberries.
Cranberry sauce, yeah. Pumpkin pie.
Does anybody eat a gelatin salad before you have dessert? It's like a gelatin with fruit in it and marshmallows.
I do an ambrosia like that.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that about him. Oh, I'm going to do that this year.
All right.
Don loves that ambrosia salad.
I love them.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can only take a bite or two, because it's rich and sweet, but I do like that one. Okay, what else? Seems like there are probably some other. I know every family has like a little, yeast rolls. Thank you. Yes. What does your family do for a holiday gathering, right? Or a Thanksgiving gathering that maybe you feel like is unique to your family, food-wise?
Some have a lot of pies that you don't have any other time of year.
You have a lot of pies.
Pies, yeah.
Oh,
What kind of pies do you have?
Pecan,
Okay.
Pumpkin.
they already got pumpkin.
Apple.
We got a
pie.
pumpkin, apple pie. Okay. All right, what else?
I think
Don't
that's
forget
enough.
to put down condiments.
Nancy says that's enough food, y'all.
And Nancy's right.
She is right, y'all.
Condiments, Patrick, what are you referring to?
Oh, there's one
Condiments,
missing for sure.
salt, pepper, Mrs. Dash, butter, lots of butter for the rolls. Anything that could spice up the turkey. Different people like to put different.
Don't forget we got the gravy on there.
Yeah, we
We
Gravy.
don't have
gravy.
gravy.
Yeah.
We need gravy.
Do you
Yeah.
want the giblets and the liver in your gravy or not?
yes.
Absolutely.
And boiled
Yes.
egg.
And boiled eggs.
Condiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, gravy.
Gravy with
Giblet.
And you mentioned ice before. Ice and condiments.
ice. What's going on? Come on. There we go. Ice. I don't know about y'all, but there would always be sweet tea and tea at the ones growing
yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah.
Or either apple cider.
Sounds good, apple cider.
And then a lot of my family would have like a Bailey's or something afterwards.
Oh, yummy.
Yummy, yeah.
Mhm.
Just
Let's
one?
see. Well, I mean,
Can't just have, one is just a sampling.
That's great, Myra.
it's two. It's true. Yeah, it's two. That was a Freudian slip. So what? So I'm just saying a little Irish cream and coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee. We need some coffee, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we need salt and pepper, and I'll put condiments, just just the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Condiments. Okay.
Tums.
Tums.
Tums and Pepsid.
Myra, this is what
condiment-
happened on Halloween, right? We ended
Right.
up listing like Pepto-Bismol, Tums. We might need nap mats or cots, right? Pull out beds.
Yep.
for
Napkins
our food
and
comas.
wipes. Napkins and wipes. Everybody wants to wipe their hands. The wet wipes
Very
and
good.
towels. Napkins.
Patrick, I have a feeling that, if there was a party at your house, all those little things would be taken care of. I have such confidence in your ability to take care of the things most of us would forget.
Okay.
Hey,
And Patrick, what do you call the thing that's in the turkey that makes you sleepy? Tryptophans or something?
oh yeah,
like
that's just built into the turkey. It comes with parts of the meal.
Yeah,
But what do you call that?
it's built in.
Tryptophan.
Tryptophan, yeah.
Hey,
Tryptophan.
no.
What's
I
that?
think
Separate question. You need garbage cans and garbage bag.
We all have that in our house anyways.
yeah.
That's true.
Be ready.
Yeah.
No, get some steel, the aluminum garbage cans and liners and extra garbage bags.
Yeah, but that's for the person who brings the turkey.
For
We
everybody.
will be all set with those.
All right. I've got one more thing, Emily. I think
Okay.
there should be more vegetables than just green bean casserole.
The man that doesn't eat vegetables says
Well,
that.
I like
Thank you,
corn.
Do you want a
I
big,
like
I
corn.
have
what
used
about
to
a big
make
green
with
salad?
coleslaw.
Carrot,
Coleslaw.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
What
I
about
usually
salad?
make roasted Brussels sprouts.
That can be good too.
Ooh, Emily's is gourmet. I'm coming to her house.
And then
Glazed carrots, yes.
glazed carrots.
Mhm.
I do like glazed carrots.
Emily,
Yes.
we need to divide your list up to
Yes.
primary, secondary, and tertiary. Your primary is your food, your turkey and ham. Your secondary is the fixings on the side. And
Yes.
tertiary is all the little things like the wipes and napkins.
And the salt and pepper, and yeah,
Right.
totally.
So
That's a
divide it up
smart
to
idea.
1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
I
And
think we would do that anyway.
we would do that. We are not today because we don't have enough time to do that. But yes, that is an excellent suggestion, and it is something that would be required if we were going to continue on to fulfill this task. So just quickly, I want to highlight some of the skills that we just exercised.
Human resources, human relationships.
Yeah,
Dale
we
Carnegie.
did.
Yeah, Dale Carnegie.
Human relationships. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
and
I spell
there's
it
probably
right?
a mixture of good and bad relationships in any.
Right. So, perspective, right? If we're thinking about like the parts that help us to deal with those human relationships, right?
like
Those
to-
family.
Respect and tolerance. Put those two words, respect and tolerance.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
What's that? What is that? I want some of it.
Nice. And from the executive function, from the FitWits perspective, it's really about emotional regulation, right? At least having the steadiness in our human relationships in situations that can feel tense, and there's a lot of different energies and personalities in the room. We must do all of the things and bring out all of our tools for emotional regulation, right?
Yeah.
So when Uncle Bob says something off color at the table, or when Aunt Frances is too loud or tells the same story over again that you heard last year, sometimes for whatever reason it can trigger us. It can make us feel impatient. It can make us feel intolerant, right?
Well,
and when we notice that we're feeling that way, we have this choice of just taking a deep breath and pausing and regulating our emotions.
So another thing that's related to that is having either written or unwritten ground rules for what's polite to do at Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so
What
no
is
talking
polite?
about politics or religion or whatever the hot buttons are for your family.
Right. The whole sex, drugs, rock and roll, politics,
Yeah,
religion.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like,
makes it more fun.
it does make it more fun. I
makes
agree
it more
with you.
fun, but it makes it unpleasant also to some people.
I believe,
So I
Emily, that
suppose
we
it
need-
depends on your family, right? Like if you have a lot of people in your family who are, able to talk about those things without getting too emotionally dysregulated, then it's probably okay, right? But
Yeah.
if your family is real sensitive about these things, or if you know that there are lots of that there are really differing opinions, then it's a subject you want to stay off of. And I think what you're both getting at, Yetta says it's more fun, makes conversations more interesting. And Don is saying, well, maybe it's not the kind of interesting that feels safe to him.
Yes, that's right.
And both things can be true, right?
Mhm.
And being able to sort of slow down and consider whether we want to talk about something or not, right, is partly how we emotionally regulate, right? It's
Yeah.
how we show up to a situation and we decide what's appropriate,
Let's differentiate between Thanksgiving conversation and ordinary day conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes we have to adapt our conversations for the company that we are in.
That's right.
Can we
Yeah.
please put the word gratitude, because that's the center of this celebration, and
Yeah.
everyone has
100%,
something they
and
can be thankful for.
Yes, our entire last session was about gratitude. And that is definitely the reason for the season, right? So some other things, and I know we have to go, so I'll put them on this screen. before I get them. And some of the other things that we exercised today, whether you realize it or not, we planned, we practiced prioritization, we problem solved, right? When we were talking about allergies, we were talking about, well, you've got some people who want to do this and some people who want to do that. That was a lot of all of those things, but in particular, problem solving.
Sequencing.
Sequencing, we practiced taking turns. We practiced, we used our working memories very effectively. We also used memories from the past. We also did something really amazing, and Patrick in particular, with attention to detail, right? Focusing on, you know, getting into some of the really nitty gritty details of what would be required. And what's really cool is that just in having the dialogue, we were given the opportunity to practice respect, tolerance, patience, emotional regulation, all of these things that help us thrive in our human relationships. And right here, right now, we're given the opportunity to practice gratitude. So I hope that everyone will have a beautiful Thanksgiving, a beautiful time with family. And I'll send you some little reminders of what we talked about today. And if you need to have a little talk with yourself before Thanksgiving about some of the things we can practice when we're getting together with family.
Well, everybody, can we please do this for Emily? She did a wonderful job today of just taking everything that we had to share and boiling it down and making structure. She's a master at doing that, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm sure you would agree. And Emily's going to have to slip off because she's got to get on the program that's starting in just 2 minutes. So we will let Emily slip off, and then I'll tell you what's coming up tomorrow, if that's
Excellent.
okay.
Happy
Thanks,
Thanksgiving,
Emily.
everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, Emily.
Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you.
Yep.
Thank you. You as
Thank you so much. And I'm going to share my screen again, everybody.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's see. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So all day today is Emily Corbin. If you want to join in again and participate in a similar exercise at 1:30 or even at 11:30. And then tomorrow we have Texas Winds for the 10:30 program and the 11:30 program. We have Duo Insolata, harp and tuba. And then we have Heavenly Harp at 1:30, but both are with Texas Winds. We're in for a treat. And so I just want to say farewell to everyone. Have a warm and cheery Thanksgiving, no matter how you spend it or with whom you spend it. And I know some may not have a lot of family around. Feel free to join into the program with Martha. I'm sure she'll give you some holiday cheer. She's so wonderful at that. So again, thank you. We're late on time because it took me a while to get the technology. So we'll go ahead and sign off. Is there anything anybody else wants to say in the
Thank
meantime?
you. You have a blessed holiday.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.